I want to hear what you want to have to say, but again, I don't think we're here to say about psychedelic kind of natures of the world. If it would be kind of funny to hear if.
I really like the Chad view of this. It's very like a policy debate.
I think out of the seven of us, I'm glad one of us are high. But please go on.
Thanks, dude. I did drink a little bit today, so it's kind of one of these things where I'm listening to this, and I've taken a lot of psychedelics, and
Is that
I don't.
Just kidding. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Definitely not. No. Please, keep doing your thing. It's really funny, but honestly, like I hear this, and it really just kind of enacts kind of where your brain function goes. I'd like to hear where Shkreli's kind of head is with psychedelics, because we haven't heard this a lot, right?
Yeah, I think you're pivoting too far afield, and I think what I'm going to tell you is going to be pretty disappointing.
No, it's not. I guarantee you, I know what you're going to say.
I'm not sure you do. Maybe you do. Who knows? But
turn up the entropy quick.
Yeah, somebody needs to. I don't think that psychedelic drugs or whatever are really mind expanding or altering it or interesting at all. They're,
I entirely agree. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of excessive attention paid to them, and like ultimately, it is cool to hijack your dopaminergic system, which you can do with a variety of medicines or narcotics or whatever you want to call them, and it's a crazy experience, but I don't think that you're doing anything other than inducing a temporary schizophrenia, psychosis, and to the extent you feel different afterwards, I'm not sure that's something that's like really that is special or different. I don't know. I'm very, unimpressed by it all, I guess.
Well, as somebody who's done this a lot, I agree with you a
Cool.
ton. So I hope everybody understands that too. Like,
what a wholesome message we're really sending out, like kids. Don't
it's not everything you thought it's gonna be. Is all I want to tell to people. Like, it's not. Like, the realism in the world is what you need to have.
Well, I mean, aside from instantly fixing our lives with psychedelics or discovering the nature of consciousness through the psychedelic approach, I did because I do kind of have to head out here in a little while. I did want to ask you a base word, what is E/AC, all about?
Great question.
What is it? What are we doing?
I would say it's your garden variety meme.
Hey!
It's just a meme. I want to chime in about the psychedelics thing really quick. I will answer the question if you want. Okay, two things. One, I think psychedelics give you access to, they can put you in states that are unusual states of consciousness. We all agree that we're still conscious while we're on them most of the time, right? Therefore, you're exploring more of the state space of consciousness when you're going to regions of it that you don't normally go. Are those significant? Are they pointing you to a deeper part of reality or some shit? Probably not. Seems like just another part of your brain.
Can I say this is
Sure.
When I did a lot of psychedelics before, my brain went very liberal. And
I think this is what happens. Yeah, so this is actually...
and again, I don't want to say this...
Well, I mean, that's not a strong, refutation of it, but, go on. Sorry, I'm interrupting your experience.
No, it's fine. I just want to bring up my own perception of what I've done in my life, and it's been heavy psychedelics, and then, I had to realize what was going on in real life, and then I get this perception of reality that's different from the psychedelic life.
I mean, no doubt that that altered sort of state is less correlated with reality than we're used to, and we know at a sort of normal brain state we are. And I think that it seems that doing them can increase your openness more than while you're sort of openness to ideas and to sort of weird ideas.
Exactly.
So this is where I actually think this is the second thing I wanted to say. And this is where I think that they are actually potentially interesting tools and maybe just interesting sort of pharmacological pointers, right? Which is that they can induce pretty significant neuroplasticity, and that can be really good for people who have problems with having too little neuroplasticity, who need to sort of jump out of this sort of states that they're stuck in, right? So this might be PTSD, for example, or depression, and I think that that's pretty interesting. Getting out of the habits of your mind, which if you're someone who's been dealing with PTSD.
I hate to knock you out of the habits of your mind, but Flockshire has had his hand up for quite a while, and I do want to hear what he has to say.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah. Anyway, neuroplasticity.
Okay, a few things. I'm going to throw them out because I'm actually doing meal prep for the week, so I'm just going to throw them out and you guys can follow up. First of all, I'm not sure how strong a correlation there is between neuroplasticity and mental limitations. I'd be kind of interested because if you're saying there's openness is linked to neuroplasticity, one might ask, when old people are less open than young people, is that because neuroplasticity has gone down at a physiological level? Before you answer that, that's the question. And the quick note is, have you noticed people who've done psychedelics, they have a bimodal distribution of how they speak. It'll either be too many words per minute or too few, and it's never in between. And yet they feel very interested in sharing this with everyone. And it's never sharing it in, the sharing is amazing. It's like almost coming to confessional of, hey, I've been on psychedelics, man. Now you can do confessional. It's not as good as you think, but let me confess to you guys. Anyway, the question on neuroplasticity.
Which side of the distribution am I on? Just wondering.
I think you speak at a normal rate. Anything slower than that is kind of hard to follow. But if you expand on neuroplasticity, we can. Thanks.
Can I please offer something that may help tie things together somewhat? I did a Facebook post about this back in 2018, and I've actually dug it out, and I might read it out to you guys. Just listening to the conversation, you're much greater mind than mine, but hopefully this may offer some degree of contribution. Am I okay to go ahead and about, that's 1 minute long?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I'll read it out. I was talking to someone about drugs with a spiritual and self-discovery journey type of marketing / hilt. We covered shrooms, LSD, ayahuasca, and eventually it came down to DMT. I remember him mentioning his ideas that a lot of quote-unquote fresh perspective provided by the psychoactive substances in these drugs are actually impairing / limiting / modifying the functions of the brain-orientated center of our brains. Anatomically, I think this would be the vernix and Broca segments of the brain. Now, for those of you who don't know, that is language and speaking and dialogue-related segments. At the time, I arrogantly disregarded this idea in my own mind, but made a mental note of it and reasserted my own idea that they are merely inducing waking dreams. Interestingly, I ran across the philosophical idea of epoch in someone's post, pictured here, that suggests that a big section of creativity and fresh childlike perspective and creativity in a human infant is likely linked to their capacity to articulately speak or read. Obviously, this recedes as the child ages and becomes more linguistically adept. Language provides structure, concision, and expression of our thoughts. Philosophers since ancient minds right through to modern existentialists, such as Soren Kierkegaard, have expounded on the importance of the appreciation of the arts for the adept and honed critical mind of the philosopher, and providing fresh perspective, insights, and new ideas. You must remember that linguistics in and of itself is a huge component of philosophy and is a subfield in and of itself. Entire lives have been spent studying and discussing it. I think when the artist does his or her work, they are undergoing a process of play and expression of themselves. It's a tedious trial and error decision after decision about how and what goes on that blank canvas. The self to the artist either supersedes or negates or ignores that which provides structure to our thoughts, language. Thus, perhaps it has something to do with the artist's usage of the vernix and Broca region of the brain that allows them true creativity, expression, and the capturing of their soul, as it were.
Okay, correlation between neuroplasticity and openness and how both might be related. People are less open because their neuroplasticity is down. I'm afraid that whatever you said, while quite artistic, has absolutely no bearing on the scientific matter.
I would say that it was Marvin Minsky who said that a lot of the times we think we're actually turning off parts of our brain, and I think you made an allusion to that. In Minsky's book, The Emotional Brain, he talks about how we have different, basically independently evolved routines or functions that convene to form this sort of emergent property of consciousness, and that when we think or focus on different problems, we sort of do so by switching off parts of the brain. One more thing I wanted to add is that EACC is not a meme, that this is the future. We are basically going to establish a New World Protocol. One by one, everyone will follow it, and it's going to be just sort of a meta government, and yeah, I think that's basically what's going to happen.
In progress, yeah.
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 I have not signed up to establish a government, but in terms of technology being a good end unto itself, I absolutely endorse it.
Yeah, we're still working on blockchain. He's quite recalcitrant, but